Okay. First thing you want to do when you are getting ready to create your leg is you're going to go to a new scene. Make sure you choose metric and blue. Okay. If you have not downloaded your catalog, which you can access if you already have downloaded it by clicking the arrow down here in this corner, selecting unassembled robot parts. But if you don't have these, you can get them from the 8th grade website by going here and clicking on them. You can select download and they will show up here when they're downloaded. Then you're going to go back to IronCAD. You're going to click on common and select open. And you're going to browse for your name and your downloads folder. And then in your downloads folder, you will find your unassembled robot parts that you just downloaded. And here it is, unassembled robot parts. You'll double click that or click it once and select open. And then you will be looking at this right here. So I am going to close out of it. I obviously don't need to download it again because I already have it. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start building our robot leg. So we're going to drag the robot leg over and drop it. Let's do a fit scene so we can see this a little better. We're going to drag our robot cylinder and drop it on the green dot. Very important that you hit that green dot. Now we're going to use the tri-ball positioning tool. This only works with the part selected. Our cylinder selected, that's what we want. So we're going to go to tri-ball positioning tool. We're going to click on this top push pin and it extends all the way through. We're going to drag this down a distance of 7 millimeters. Put 7, press enter, and we're going to turn the tri-ball positioning tool off. Click on the blue area of our screen. You'll see we now have the cylinder attached to our leg. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to put our axle hole in there. We're going to drag it and drop it on the center of our leg. You'll see now it goes all the way through the robot. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add the attachment for the robot foot, dropping it on the green dot. We're going to click that attachment for robot foot. It's selected. We'll do a tri-ball positioning tool. We're going to click on the push pin. Let me orbit so you can see a little better the push pin that I got. We're going to pull it towards the center of our leg and enter a distance of 4. Press enter. We're going to turn it off. And we're going to go to the other end of our leg, add another attachment for the robot foot there. We're going to select it again and use the tri-ball. We're going to do this push pin, pull it towards the center of our leg, let go, and enter a distance of 4 millimeters. Enter, turn the tri-ball positioning tool off, click in the blue area here. Now we're ready to do our Boolean subtract to turn that into a hole where the foot can snap into. In order to do that, we're going to click on our leg. Then we're going to go to the feature. Under feature, we're going to click on Boolean. Very important that your leg is blue, that you've selected it. Now we're going to click on Boolean, and we're going to carefully select only the attachment for robot foot. It's a little bit finicky. Just make sure that the whole end piece is not selected. This is wrong. This is right. So we're going to select both of those. We're going to, oh, you know what? I forgot to change this to subtraction first. My bad. We're going to click on subtraction. We have to click on finish. And there we go. You now have your leg created. So the leg should be just, pretty quick. You're going to take a print screen of this and add it to your portfolio. And that's going to go to currently slide 39. So that's the robot leg. Next, I'm going to show you how to do the robot foot. So we're going to click here on part 1 in our scene browser. I'm going to click again. So I've clicked twice there. It wasn't a double click. I had a second or two in between. Now we can rename this. We're going to name it robot leg. And now I'm going to right click on that and I'm going to click on hide selected. Now we're going to build our robot foot. So I'm going to pull over the robot foot and I'm going to click on the view cube down here and select top. I am going to hit fit scene. And now I'm going to click on the attachment for robot foot and put it right there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I am going to do a Boolean union so that these become one part. So I'm clicking my scroll button to orbit, but I am going to select my foot. I'm going to go to Boolean, and it's already on union. I'm just going to click on this part here, which is the attachment for robot foot, and we're going to click the check mark. This is now one piece. So now I'm going to show you how to create some traction for your robot foot. I'll show you two different methods. The first method, let's do Extrude Wizard. So I'm going to click on Extrude Wizard. I am going to click on this green dot here, remove material, and click on Finish. Okay, 2-point line. And so now you could come in here, you could just start drawing some traction. Now, obviously, you may want to do this a little bit differently. That's up to you. You can choose which way you would like to do this, but you can see what I'm getting at here. Just trying to create some traction for our robot. And this is real quick. Obviously, you probably wouldn't want to do it this way exactly. I think what I'll do is just come down here, come over to here, come up to here, and then click right here. Okay, so now if I click on finish, okay, you see we have a foot that is going to have a lot more traction. It's not pretty, it's not perfect, it's not even in uniform. To be a distinguished learner, you would want it to be even so that we don't have, half of a spike on one end. You'd want it to be uniform. So that's method number 1. I'm going to go ahead and show you method number 2. So I'm going to delete this extrude. And method number 2. For method number 2, once again, I'm going to use the Extrude Wizard and remove material and finish. But this time, I'm going to use a rectangle. I'm going to click here, and I'm going to go up to my midpoint right there. I'm going to click on finish. Okay, I've removed the bottom half of the foot because I'm going to replace it with cones. So now I'm going to come to my catalog browser over here and go to shapes, and I'm going to select cone. But let me use the view cube here. I want to get the bottom. And now I'm going to take my cone, I'm going to drag it to the corner right here and drop it, and I'm going to click OK. I'm going to right click on that push pin, edit the size box. I'm going to do 3, 3, and 2.5. I cut 2.5 millimeters off the bottom of my foot, so I'm going to make my cone spikes extend down 2.5 millimeters. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to use my tri-ball positioning tool to pull this down 1.5 millimeters. 1.5 millimeters because my cone was exactly 3 millimeters and it was centered on the corner. Now I'm pulling it over 1.5 millimeters. And so now my cone is centered in the corner. The edges on both edges are lined up. Okay, so we're going to select our cone. We're going to do a pattern feature, and we're going to choose this edge right here. Notice all of my settings. Okay, right now, none of these are checked, and fixed space is selected. I have an offset of 3, a count of 5, and edge pattern is selected. And so I'm going to click on this right here. You'll see it shows me a pattern. I obviously want to reverse the direction because I want them on my foot. And now I'm going to click on the green check mark. And I click in my blue space, and there is one side. If we wanted to do the other ones, we would just repeat the process here. We drop it, we OK, we right click, we select edit size box, we enter 3 and 2.5 for the height, and we click on OK. And now we're going to use the tri-ball positioning tool. We're going to pull it this way 1.5 millimeters, enter. We're going to pull it up 1.5 millimeters, enter. And now we're going to turn tri-ball positioning tool off. We're going to select pattern feature again, and we're going to click on the edge, this edge right here. We want to reverse the direction, obviously, and we click on the green check mark. And just like that, we now have spikes on the bottom of our foot.